Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I can't believe I'm saying that. It feels so good to say that. And yes, I did blow the dust off my YouTube camera. So much has happened since we talked last, and I just have so much to share with you. If you guys want to do an updated Q&A in the future, let me know down below so we can just catch up. I'm also very thankful to have you guys back with me on this new chapter, this new YouTube journey, and I'm so excited to take you along for the ride. If there's anything that you want me to recreate or any kind of video that you're looking for from me, let me know down below. I'm so excited for today because I have the beautiful model Acacia in my chair, and I'm going to be recreating a look that I've always wanted to do. It's an iconic Janet Jackson makeup look from the music video If. This look is really bronzy, sultry, it's all about the eyes, and you know I love that. So without further ado, let's get into this makeup look. I like to start every single one of my makeup applications off with an eye cleanser. I am really big into eye health, and I think it is one of the most important parts of your routine, and you just want to make sure that you keep the eye area clean. And it's really important to use your eye cleanser before makeup and after makeup. The one that I'm using is extremely soothing, and it also helps to remove any oils on the eyelids, so it really preps the eyes right before you put down that primer or concealer. I also have the most sensitive eyes, and I was diagnosed with dry eyes and a list of other things this year, so it really has inspired me to take care of my eye health and my clients too. I've used this for years, the Elemis Superfood Facial Oil. It is one of my favorite oils to use to prep the skin. It doesn't make the makeup peel. However, I wouldn't recommend using this if you have really oily skin. I would skip this step. Always make sure to do the neck and décolleté. Your skincare should go from thinnest to thickest, which is why I started with the oil, now going in with the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. Just lathering that in with the same brush from Morphe. I will list all the brushes below. I typically like a lightweight moisturizer underneath the makeup so it doesn't weigh it down, and this one is perfect. And then prepping the lips with my Laneige lip mask. I like to let this melt into the skin, so by the time I get to the lip application, the lips are nice and smooth. I've been giving my clients a quick lymphatic drainage massage right before glam, and it just makes everything better to spend a few moments on lifting the skin. This one is by my facialist, Sonia Dakar, and I think she's launching it soon. To prep the under eyes, I'm going in with an eye cream. This one is very soothing around the eye area. It's amazing for sensitive skin. The ingredients are clean, and it also helps your concealer to stay on and not cake up. And it's also a little something that I'm working on. And yes, I like to put on my Jet Lag Summer Fridays eye masks after I do my eye cream. I just want that boost of moisture and hydration, and this one gives such a beautiful glow underneath the eyes. Keep your eye patches on while you do your eyeshadow and thank me later, okay? I don't always start off with the brows, but in this case, I knew I needed a fierce brow for this makeup tutorial. So I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer Pencil in Ebony, basing the eyes with my NARS Soft Matte Concealer, but to be honest, you can use the same concealer you use on your skin to base the eyes. I like to do a little detail work around the brow, just giving it a light sculpt. And now we don't want a 2016 carved brow, but I do want a little something something. This is a Janet Jackson tutorial after all. Now this warm tone that I'm using in the crease to lay down first, and the shade that I'm going to put on the eyelid that is more of a scattered, sparkly bronze pearl. So I'm basically using this warm matte terracotta tone in the crease as a transition shade, really blowing this out from the inner corner of the eye, blown out to the outer corner of the eye, up into where the brow ends. And then I'm going in with my Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette just to give the eyes a little bit more definition. And then using the M301 Eye Packer brush by Morphe, this is a perfect brush to go in and soften up that harsh line. Big fan of the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray because this really locks in your makeup, but it's also amazing to lock in your eyeshadows too and make them even more intense. So that's what I'm doing here, getting the brush nice and damp and then picking up the eyeshadow and pressing that onto the eyelid. I've been loving this Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette. This is one of my favorites. And the black shade that I'm using is more of a pomade. So I do feel like it has more of a stick to it and a lot less fallout. So I'm starting from the outer corner of the eye and I'm kind of pressing this along the lash line. You can do a press and a pull with it, so you kind of see me switch up that technique throughout the process. And then as I get to the outer corner of the eye to create the wing, I'm keeping the point of the brush facing outward towards the tip of the brow and I'm dragging it inward. And if you're new at doing eyeliner, I do feel like you have a lot more control when you start off with eyeshadow. And to intensify this eyeliner look, because you know I love to intensify the eyes, and I'm just pressing this ink liner along the way to just stamp it on. I like to take my Morphe Hydro Boost makeup wipes and just saturate the M401 brush. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to work as a makeup eraser, and we are going to erase the area that you want to sharpen. And for me, that's typically underneath the wing, and then defining it even more with the same concealer that I use to base the eyes. This is the Glow Seeker highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Enchanted, and I'm gonna use this right underneath the brow bone just to give it a little pop. It just adds this soft golden warmth to the eyes that is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, you know I love this foundation, Armani Luminous Silk. This is the shade 11, and look at this shade match. It just melted into the skin incredibly. The foundation brush is the M242 brush. I also use this to prep the skin with my moisturizers. And yes, I would say that this foundation does work on everyone. It also works on very oily skin, but you have to set it properly. To brighten up the skin, I went in with the Morphe Under Eye Correcting Concealer in the shade 10C. This was a perfect match for Acacia. And I'm using the M132 concealer brush. This is an incredible brush for concealer. It is nice and dense, and it's perfect for that pinpoint placement. Now, Acacia didn't really need a color corrector. I felt like I could really do all the work with the concealer in this case. Now, I did go in with the shade 8W just to brighten the corner of the under eyes, the sides of the nostrils, a little bit above the lip and forehead. Also find this formula to lay really smooth on the skin. It moves with your actual facial expressions. Now I'm all about bringing some warmth and structure back into the skin, so I'm using the M243 brush. This is a cream and liquid contour brush, and my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Chestnut. This is a cream formula and it just glides on the skin. It's also very pigmented, so a little goes such a long way. Just placing a bit of the bronzer with an eyeshadow brush down the sides of the nose and then using a sponge to blend out and soften up those lines. Now these are two blushes that I have been obsessed with lately. They are both from Morphe and the shades are Cabana Club and Beach Bonfire. Look at this blend together. I can't even get over it. It just brings so much warmth into her skin. I love how bright and bold it looks on the cheeks. Oh, this just gets me excited. To set the under eyes, I'm using the Cloud Set by Kosas translucent powders in the shade Peachy and Buttery. I did mix them together and I'm going in with a powder puff. I like to start underneath the eyes first, and then I'm kind of sculpting around the face. I like to use the tip of it right underneath the contour just to define and enhance a little bit more. And you can really start to see the skin just come to life once we lay down this powder. To set the areas where we place that cream bronzer, I'm going in with my Benefit Hoola bronzer in the shade Toasted and picking up the product with my M164 powder brush. This is a great brush to sculpt the face. And I'm basically just going over those same areas that I applied the cream bronzer. Now it's time to lock in these brows. I'm using my Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter Gel. This brow powder literally does not move. And then picking up that same highlighter that I used underneath the brow bone with my M382 brush, using it down the bridge of the nose. It's time to create that second wing. So I'm using the Urban Decay 24-Hour Brow Setter in Beige Flag. Using that same black eyeshadow that I used earlier with the same brush that I used to create the wing liner, I am sculpting right underneath the lash line just to add more definition, and this does create a third winged liner. And if you want a really clean line, you can clean it up with a little bit of concealer. For the lips, I'm using two shades from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is Malt and Chai. You have to see how beautiful this is on Acacia. I fell in love with these tones on her. There's something about a brown liner with warmth to it that just looks so delicious on deep complexions. The lipstick is by Dolce & Gabbana. It is the shade 3.12. It's more of a peachy nude. I'm just tapping this directly on the center of her lips, and this is a brand new lipstick. You guys know us artists, we love to mix products, so I'm going in with the Ismaya Metal Lip Balm in Burnt Coral. This is a topper that you can use on top of your lipsticks, or you could wear it alone. It's more of a metal metallic finish, and I'm kind of using it around the areas where I applied the brown liner. And then in the center of the lips, I'm going in with Valentino's Spike Lipstick in 600A. This is basically a gold lipstick that is more on the frost side. We did curl the lashes with the Surratt Lash Curler, which you don't see here, but I am going in with the Thrive Mascara. This is a clean formula. It's a tubing mascara. And then for lashes, these are by Kiss. I thought this collection was perfect. It's called the New Natural Lashes, and the style is Nude Blazer. So it's more of a lash that goes from short to long, really lifting the eyes, giving you more of that catty-like shape. And I always go back with a little bit more glue in the inner corner of the eyes. And once the lashes are dry, I go in with the smallest amount of mascara, just basing the root of the lashes, slightly bringing it up to the tip. This just kind of blends your natural lashes with the false lashes. And then of course, emphasizing her beauty mark with the same eyeliner that I used. I swear I never breathe when I'm doing freckles or beauty marks on the skin, but I loved that she actually had the same placement as Janet Jackson's beauty mark. And then of course, the final step is to lock in this glam so it lasts all day. And I also want it to look a little less makeup-y and more like skin. So I'm using my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, give it a like, a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to my makeup community because I have so much more to share with you on this journey. And I hope you enjoyed this 90s Janet Jackson makeup look that I recreated on Acacia. I'll see you guys next time.